What is up, fuckers? It is... What is today? November 2nd, Dia de los Muertos. I can't fucking say it. Day of the Dead. Day of the fucking Dead. I got my makeup on. Gotta honor the dead, you know. Past loved ones. We got a dead uncle. Dead girlfriend. All kinds of dead people in my life. Soon I will be another dead motorcyclist, but until then I must honor the people that have died before me. I don't really think that was the original meaning of Day of the Dead. You know, Aztecs being Aztecs, very likely they were fanatics of death, you know. They were celebrating death in a way that we don't really that we can't really appreciate in this culture. They encouraged death, if anything, you know. They had human sacrifice. At least that's what we've been told. There's a lot of theories coming out now that all that was just bullshit from the Catholics to scare people from continuing the faith of Nahuatl people and Nahuatl. I don't know, fucking, you know what I mean. I just got a whiff of grass, like green tea. But yeah, Day of the Dead. I am going camping. This weekend, hopefully. Hopefully I can get my shit together this weekend. Tomorrow I work from home. And that means I have time to just kind of go to the market, or not market, I can just kind of put together my hiking, my camping gear. Jesus Christ, dude. You can never be too cautious. That one actually fucking scared me. A lot of these habits that keep me alive, they were learned with blood. I would have, you know, I would have had a pretty good chance of dying from the learning experience. And there was a lot of learning experiences. So again, I feel for the motorcyclists that want to become better and stuff, but they're new and they just don't have the right guidance and such. They don't have the right intuition. End up getting themselves killed out there, which is really unfortunate. But then again, there are motorcyclists out there that just do not respect the road. They do not respect their motorcycle. It's really unfortunate. So yeah, today I will dedicate this ride to the fallen motorcyclists out there. The ones that wanted to continue to enjoy and continue to improve themselves, but they just happened to, you know, ride upon a unfortunate circumstance that ended their lives on the road. Very unfortunate. I am very fortunate myself to be here to continue riding on this road. So again, my heart goes out to those people. May they rest in peace. And wherever they may rest, they are enjoying things better. Oh, come on, my guy. Alright. Give me. Lately, my riding style has slowed down significantly. After a really bad trip. Yeah, so I took 5... Okay, so, I mean, I've been taking shrooms for like a year straight almost. Maybe like 8 months, I don't recall. I'd say every other day, every weekend, every day I was probably taking like, you know, 1 to 2 grams. Just something really light to keep me functional. And then on the weekends, when my ex-girlfriend would come over, we would do fucking... I would go crazy. She would take 2 grams and she'd be, you know, out in the stars, but I would be wanting more. I would be taking 7 grams. I think the most I've taken was like 8 grams during that regular time. And then I had a really big trip. I took 10 grams. I felt like my mind was ready to take the 10 grams, and it was ready. I had my tolerance up, and what happened? It scrambled my brain a little bit, so I did take a break. You know, I learned a lot from the trip. It was a very beautiful, you know, kind of positive trip. A lot of crying. I had another ex-girlfriend on the phone. Lots of crying. Lots of cathartic thoughts. Really nice. It's one of the best experiences I've ever had. But that was a warning. That told me, like, hey, why am I taking literally 10 grams? Like, this... Give this dose to any normal human being and it'll break their fucking mind. Yeah, I decided to take a break. And since then, I've slowed it down. I don't do them regularly anymore. In fact, I took like, I think a month and a half long break since the last time I tripped. And even then, the last trip was only 2 grams. So it was, I brought my tolerance back down to like a normal human being level, essentially. Enjoying 2 grams that way, going to the park and stuff, taking people that I love and tripping out there. But Sunday, I wanted to show my new girlfriend. You're gonna let me pass, my guy? It's nice of that guy. I mean, he knew. He knew I was gonna pass his ass one way or another. But yeah, it'd been a month and a half. God, this fucking album is so good. I didn't like it at first. I really loved the first album. It is iconic. It is peak sludge metal. And this one's not so much. It's more just like rock, almost like Audio Slave, grunge. But I appreciate it now. I appreciate it after reading the lyrics, kind of saying, oh, it's still acid bath, there's still that sliminess to it. There's still the fucking, these guys are just experimenting with different drugs, hence why it sounds different. Experimenting with Hell's Bells. But back to the drug trip. I wanted to show my girlfriend, hey, this is what shrooms do. This is why I'm happy. This is why I'm healthy. This is why I am, the person that you do now is because the shrooms have showed me a way out of my depression. I was like a car rotting in a swamp. I was just left to die in this depression, and then the shrooms just pulled me out. So it was cute. It's long distance, so what happened was it was a long distance date. She was on FaceTime. I dressed up pretty nice for her. And I was cooking chili for myself, but of course it'd be like, I was cooking for her, just something cute, And it was cute. 5 grams, how I took him, let me start over. So what I did, I ground it down, I don't fucking know. I made it into a powder, essentially. 5 grams of Stargazer, which if anyone knows, Stargazer is a pretty weak strain. And I don't want to say weak, I don't want to disrespect it like that. But it is one of the lesser potent strains. It's not going to like kick your ass or anything. It's one of the friendlier ones, so it's pretty much like B+. But then again, I've had a lot of insane experiences with Stargazer, so maybe mine are just special. Yeah, so 5 grams, I made it into a powder, and I lemon teched it. I've never lemon teched a trip before. I have tried orange juice with it at a concert, and it does work, so I was like, alright, lemon tech, let me just do 5 grams lemon tech, see what happens, because I haven't tripped in a month and a half. I want this trip to fucking count. And holy shit, did it fucking count. I don't recommend lemon tech, unless you're doing 2 grams, but even then, I don't even know, because it just boosted it up to like a 15 gram trip. It was insanity. I remember, every time I shoot down the drink, I usually just put it in water. Every time I slam down the nasty shit, I put my timer on for 15 minutes because generally 15 minutes is right when you start to peak. For me, it's when the start of the peak. And then you can peak for, 2 hours, sometimes an hour and a half, 3 hours. Just depends on how big the dose was. But like the 10 gram trip, almost immediately I was like, oh, I am fucking tripping balls right now. Immediately. But I was like, whatever, it's 5 grams, it can't hurt me, it's not gonna break my mind like 10 grams. Boy, was I fucking wrong. But yeah, the 15 minutes, I was just kind of like tripping out really hard, and I was kind of like grabbing myself. You know how you get when you take a lot of shrooms, you kind of feel like the world loves you and is being very playful with you, and you're being grabbed at by your emotions and shit. And I was having this conversation with my girlfriend, and I was telling this person, like, hey, this is what I'm feeling, this is why I'm laughing, this is why I'm not looking at the camera, because this is what I'm seeing. And she's like, oh, that's cute, and what got really weird is she started to sense that there was an energy in this trip, that there was an energy in me that was around me, that was paying attention to us, that just suddenly became aware. And she started, she's Wiccan, so she has her little pendants and stuff, and she was kind of communicating with the spirits and such. And it was very bizarre having my girlfriend, which, again, she's never tripped. She doesn't know anything about, like, the mushroom tripping experience. She's able to communicate with something that objectively should not exist. What I perceived was the earth. The earth kind of, made me more aware that it existed, that it was paying attention to me, and that it was like a female, essentially. It was an entity, it got some feminine energy to it. And my girlfriend was even asking me, like, hey, what are you feeling with this? Like, what kind of energy is it? Like, is it an outward energy, whatever? I'm like, it kind of feels like an inward energy, like, it feels like whatever this energy is between us, it's pulling me into myself, and I like it. But yeah, I was enjoying it. But yeah, I remember we were having this conversation, like there was this third person with us, which was the shrooms, the earth. I don't know really what it was. Let me see. Yeah, so she started talking to the entity. Oh, and she was just being playful, She was being really playful with the spirit, with me. I told my girlfriend, like, man, the shrooms make me really want to fucking pee. And then I paused for a second, I'm like, wait, no, it doesn't. I'm just an idiot. I just fucking chugged down a whole liter of water after the shot of shrooms. Like, that is my fault. And she's like, yeah, don't blame your friends for that. And that really struck me, that she referred to the shrooms as my friends. It just kind of made it a little bit more real, But yeah, she was teasing me. My girlfriend was teasing me. But the earth was also teasing me, so it was kind of like a back and forth between my girlfriend and the earth. There were kind of like two girls fighting over me, Like, I don't know. If we want to make it all pop culture influence and such. Think of like Michael Jackson's "The Girl Is Mine" with Paul McCartney. Come on, my guy. This is why I fucking lane split, because it's just dangerous. Having cars fly at that speed. And then these cars are going to fly in front of me. Blow boys. Or slow boys. Oh, that's funny. Because it's not a slow car. Ironic. Haha, I get it. But yeah, I felt like I was just being pulled between two girls that really wanted me, And I don't know what it was, but my girlfriend needed to leave for a few minutes. I think her family called her or something. I wasn't too sure. But yeah, I remember just kind of, hung up and I sat down in my room, I think. No. So my dog peed on the floor, so I was trying to clean up his pee. But, with the shroom thought, you're like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, how do I even do that? Like, what even are napkins or towels or, cleaning equipment? Yeah, so I just crouched over. Like, I was cleaning the pee up, with some paper towels and some cleaner, and I was just kind of crouched over in the hallway, and I was just looking down the hallway, and I finally took pause and was like, alright, like, let me just kind of see where my thoughts are right now, because they're kind of chaotic. I haven't really had a chance because I was entertaining my girlfriend, I was entertaining this other entity, and yeah, that's when I came to realize, like, oh, this is different, this is not ego death. Although I don't think I've ever experienced ego death with shrooms. I've only experienced it with cannabis, or at least one form of it, like consistently. It wasn't ego death. It wasn't like, all these other spiritual experiences. With shrooms, it literally just felt like torment. It felt bad. It felt like evil. It felt like someone stuck a blender in my brain and just fucking scrambled my thoughts, and my brain was on fire. And that scared the shit out of me, because I was still lucid. I was still like, yes, I am in my body. I'm not seeing weird shroom shit. It's more of just my thoughts are scrambled. They don't make sense, and this is my next, this is how life will continue to be. I started kind of remembering how life used to be before this trip. And, I tried to dig into my memories, but my memories weren't leading to places either. They're leading into dead ends. Dead ends that did not make sense. And That was fucking terrifying. I probably was in that mindset for like 3 or 4 minutes until I mean, I should have just laid down, listened to music or whatever, and just let it happen. But I freaked out, texted my girlfriend. I told her, hey, can you call me? I'm not feeling well. Which is bizarre to her because, again, she saw that I was laughing, I was being giggly, I felt loved and such. And I don't know, just that time between her, me texting her, and her calling me back, which was only like 2 minutes, my mind just kept breaking more and more and more. And it, like, my brain literally was, it felt like it was literally on fire. Like, it hurt. It felt like I was getting burned in my brain. Yeah, I remember calling her and I told her what was going on. I'm like, hey, like, things don't make sense. I can't really remember exactly what I said, but I just remember telling her, like, this is what happened when you hung up. Things aren't making sense, or something along those lines. I was crying, I was scared, I was fucking terrified because I needed to go to use the restroom. I had to pee. I had to pee really bad, and the urge to pee was coming and going. It was like some fucking kraken or some, sea monster coming in and out of the ocean of my body, just kind of showing its fucking fangs at me and like, I'm gonna have you again. You're gonna have to pee. And I was just scared of going to the restroom. I just did not. I was crying to my girlfriend, like, I need to go, but I don't want to go because that's where the bad thoughts happen. Yeah, but eventually I did go pee, and of course I had really bad thoughts in the restroom. It felt like the toilet was like, had the presence of a father figure. Wasn't necessarily saying anything to me, but I regarded it as a father figure. I'm not sure what that means. I'm pretty sure there's some kind of metaphor that to be understood there. I recall vividly that I couldn't distinguish if I was standing or sitting up. And the more I tried to discern which one I was doing, the more reality started to fall apart. And again, that can mean so many things to so many different people. But that's the best way I can explain it. It's just the harder I tried to contextualize my reality, the harder it became to understand what was going on. Kind of like quantum physics, the more you know of one thing, the more you know of a particle's position, the less certain you are of its speed, or vice versa. The more certain you are of its speed, the less certain you are of its position. I still remember my fucking physics classes. I won't say anything about school, but yeah, that was, eventually, after a few hours, my girlfriend was totally fine. She was obviously concerned, but she was not, like, freaking out. She wasn't crying. She wasn't, like, disturbed or anything. She was kind of like, yeah, whatever. That's funny. But it's because she's fucking crazy, she's fucking insane, more so than I am. But at the same time, I feel like we're both crazy, just in different ways. But she told me after the trip, I asked her, like, why weren't you, like, freaked out, or why were you so collected and calm? Like, I would have, like, just hung the fuck up, if I just met this chick, or I just met you and didn't know you. But she told me, she's like, oh, I've seen this before, and I know you're gonna come back. And I was like, oh. That was one of those other moments where, like, oh, this woman she knows things, she knows things that I don't know. She knows things that will terrify me, that will, intrigue me. But that was another thing I learned from the trip. And, I can't remember what else. Oh yeah, then I decided to get some fresh air. Because I really wanted to feel the sun, because I felt like I was being tormented, and it felt like I was being tormented by the earth. And I wanted to see another cosmic entity. I wanted to feel the sun and understand, like, hey, like, do you at least love me, sun? Can you please, like, just kind of put some warmth on me, like, literally hug me with your warmth. So I went outside, but then I realized, like, wait, I am too fucked up right now to, like, stand anywhere outside the boundaries of my house. So I just sat outside on the porch. And the sun was kind of like on the other side of the street, and I can see it. I saw the sun, but I wasn't in it. I was in the shadows, and I was so fucking heartbroken, essentially. I cried. I told my girlfriend that I'm like, I just want to be out in the sun.